Hey, wake the fuck up! It's the Jacket Off Podcast, episode 39. Almost old enough to think that it's old. Age 40.
Almost
you know,
old enough to vote
almost
for Trump.
over the hill. Almost over the hill. We've reached the grand precipice of our incredibly consistent
Oh yeah,
run of the
1
past
week
year.
after the next.
1 week after the next. As you can see, is the two sides of my
You know,
face.
the 40
I'm lit
weeks-
by fall colors.
You look like a screw.
Whatever. So, yeah, today I decided that I was going to put yellow up on the screen and orange up on this screen and light every light in my background, and so that I get that perfect warm glow, that fall glow. Fall's upon us right now.
Thank God.
It's time for Punkin Spice, Dillon.
Hoodies.
And pumpkin beer and hoodies. The basic bitches around the world would don their simultaneous Han Solo costumes, and they go to fucking save the galaxy in the Millennium Falcon, all the while making a pit stop at Starbucks to pick up a double pumpkin macchiato with extra sprinkles.
You're just saying everything that I'm down for right now.
There was a thing that perfectly described kind of how I feel about all of that stuff on Twitter. I forget who the fuck posted it.
All
but
good
it was
ideas come from Twitter.
Can we yeah. It said, can we stop with all of the fucking, like, it was essentially just basically a public proclamation to be like, let's put a stop to all the basic bitch shaming and be like, what's really, it's the same way I feel about hipster stuff. It's like, oh God, I'm sorry that, you know, around fall time, it gets a little chilly, so people put on more comfortable clothes. And around fall time, Starbucks puts out one of their more delicious items that they ever put on the menu. And oh, I'm sorry, fucking beer starts to put in pumpkin, which is great for spicy beers like porters and stouts and whatever. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, let's just let people like what they like, please.
No,
for once.
No, they can't. You can't.
We can't do that though,
can't do
Dillon.
it. You can't do it.
I know.
It's impossible.
We can't
Why
let
would
them
you?
have it. There's no reason to let.
Why should you be
anybody have-
happy? I'm not happy.
Why should
What
they
the
be
fuck?
happy? I feel like there's so many of those things all the time where and I do it too. I catch myself doing this constantly, where like I'll do like that stupid like contrarian thing. Like I tried to get away from it with music. That was like the first thing, and the reason why I started doing it was because I had heard so many people around me, especially moving up here. I'm in the fucking indie music capital of the world up here. And everybody's always like, I don't really like mainstream. It's like, okay, here's a problem though. We're living in an era where what you would consider the mainstream was literally born out of indie 10 seconds ago, and somebody put it up on fucking SoundCloud, and then it got 8 bajillion fucking views, and then suddenly it's not indie anymore. Like, you could say Chance the Rapper is indie as you want as far as rappers are concerned, but he fucking is one of the most popular rappers out there. If your measure of indie is whatever it is, popularity, success, whatever, selling out, all that bullshit.
It's no one else can like them.
Oh,
so I like them. That's indie.
That's been happening since Green Day. Like, fucking, they even said it on that Uno Dos Tres documentary. I think it was one of those, or maybe it was one of the early
great
ones.
three, just a great album titles.
Let's just say that. Let's just clear that out.
Let's just clear this out of the way.
Make sure that's made clear.
They're like, oh, we want to make 3 CDs, and also they're gonna be upon the names. Beautiful.
Yeah. So they said that when they were playing around, you know, their local area, and they were coming up and they were becoming like this new this new local phenomenon, and everybody was like, oh my God, you got to go see Green Day. They're amazing. There was a legion of people, rabid fucking fans who were like in the punk scene. They had seen this new band that's like, oh my God, it's so exciting. This new band. And then you develop those people who are like, this is my band. Green Day is my band. And they're always going to be my band. And then Dookie comes out. And when Dookie comes out and goes fucking quadruple bajillion platinum, like it was possible for albums to do that back in the day, when you could actually have an album go, as Kid Rock would say, I'm going platinum. That's not an antiquated phrase. Selling rhymes. I'm going platinum 7 times. So Dookie goes
now
platinum.
Songs go platinum
7 times. So, my single's going platinum, selling a 1 rhyme. Gucci Gang 7 times.
At least I can still make money making music. Yay. Even if they only want to buy 1 song.
I make all my money from merch and a tour. I'm gonna probably kill myself in 7 years.
Please stop streaming my music on Spotify. They don't give me that much money.
So anyway,
I really like the hook to this song.
I really like the hook to this song is probably one of the most uttered phrases in my inner monologue ever in the modern era on Spotify, on any platform. It's like, oh, it's got a good hook to it. I'm trying to get away from being the guy who frowns upon the mainstream in such a profound way as to separate myself from those bourgeois fucking pedestrians that listen to their. And I mean, there are certainly exceptions to the rule, but there is a lot going on at pop that's pretty fucking good. It's a lot more inventive than it used to be. Like, there's a lot better shit going on, like, in the mainstream. I think because the mainstream is becoming, like I said, the gap is closing onto where somebody works real hard to fucking get into the mainstream. Now you don't have to really work that hard. If you get that, it's a shorter time that you have this indie cred paying your dues bullshit to fucking all the way to the top of the goddamn charts, as long as your shit gets on, as long as it goes high on YouTube. But I digress. That's the thing. Like your Punkin Spice. Punkin Spice is part of the mainstream, but it's one of the better parts of the mainstream.
They can mainline it right into my veins for all I care. I want Punkin Spice bloodstream.
This is a better part of the mainstream too. Polar Seltzer Jr. Very Instagram friendly. What is it called? Dragon Whispers. The flavor is Dragon Whispers, Dylan. Other flavors include Unicorn Tears, Yeti Kisses, and some other shit that I can't remember, but I think there's 4
Is there
of
even
them.
enough in that to taste it?
Oh, yeah. Well, look, it's Seltzer Jr. It's just enough to get a little idea of it.
Because I know, like,
Limited
LaCroix,
edition.
you need to drink the whole thing and be like, oh, right. Someone coughed after they ate an orange into my drink.
What they did was they had somebody eat like 10 grapes in the peel of an orange, and then they had them whisper into the can into the water as they're pumping the CO2 into it.
They told the can what it tasted like.
They told it its hopes and dreams and tried to make it evolve into the flavor of which they wished it to be.
Put it on your secret board or your goals board. What was it? The secret? Was that what that fucking thing was called?
Here's the secret Polar Seltzer. It tastes like shit 90% of the time. I just drink it because it's not soda.
Add booze to it.
Polar Seltzer. Add booze to it to be tolerable. These ones actually, to be honest with you, they taste the most like they have a very distinct flavor than any other flavor of Polar. Like, any of the other ones pretty much follow that format of whisper into the can the word orange, and hopefully it turns out orange.
You think these it's because it's such a weird flavor that they had to kind of...
The Unicorn Tears one.
Manufacture a flavor, so they had to do a little more with the science behind it.
The Unicorn Tears one tastes like Smarties, kinda, or like it tastes like if you took all the sugar out of a Monster Energy drink, like that kind of thing. It's got
Can I
like
get
that
this?
style to it. You wouldn't want it because it's a billion. The only reason why I got it was because every year, fucking, I think for a couple years now they've been doing this. They've been releasing these. It doesn't come in anything bigger. They don't put it in the liter sizes that I normally buy. It's just these little junior bullshit things. It comes 6 in a thing for like $2.20, which is goddamn ridiculous. It's fucking like robbery. But at the same time, you know, I'll probably be taking a picture of this later and putting it up on the ground and say, "Look, Dragon Whispers," or I'll do the Unicorn Tears one and be like, "Ha ha ha, fucking
Wait,
living
so
my best life."
is it
Hashtag
a
blessed.
mixed thing, or do you
Yeah.
buy a 6? So you can't even get 6 Unicorn Tears.
No. Oh, I thought you were. I thought you were talking about the flavor itself in the thing. No, six of each flavor.
Okay.
They're in like those little short packs, the tiny
Sure.
cardboards. But anyway,
Gotta make sure to use that cardboard. You don't want turtles choking on plastic.
Look, if there's one thing that I do in my sad, stupid life that doesn't really is waste conscious, despite anything else, I do cut up those fucking things, the sixer rings. I do cut them. So take that, Greenpeace. As I fucking put my 5,000 cans into the goddamn single source recycling bin. 600 cans of beer that are just gonna fucking end up in a landfill instead of being reprocessed at a facility.
State sorts it. Keep telling yourself that, Brett.
Yeah,
that's where your tax dollars are going.
You've seen Penn and Teller bullshit. They say recycling's bullshit, said the most pedantic fuckhead of all time. This reminds me of the guy who's like, the fucking guy on the Vine, where he's like, women being allowed to vote, that's crazy. I'm an adult virgin. So, much time has passed. 2 weeks we're out since the last Jack It Off podcast, and we are in full effect right now, Dylan. We are in the center of the storm, and by storm I mean Hurricane Florence, which has just recently bared down on the place where I was going to take my honeymoon. Now,
cool.
Let's back up. The wedding plans, they've been coming together. They've caused me innumerable amounts of stress and worry for absolutely no reason. Constantly making myself trying to evaluate my own behavior. Why am I worried about this? Says me. And then I answer myself with, fuck if I know. Let's keep drinking. So,
At least you got the right answer.
Survey says drinking. All
All
right.
right.
That was the number one answer.
Number one, and the only answer. 100 people polled.
100 people we
They all
polled.
said
We
it.
asked, what do you do when you're planning a wedding? Drinking. So, wedding plans were coming along swimmingly, and we had booked our pioneering mini honeymoon to Charleston, South Carolina, home of pit barbecues and beach stuff and Airbnb.
A quaint little honeymoon.
A quaint honeymoon for two quaint individuals like ourselves.
Nothing extravagant.
Nope, just trying to be modest, and then all of a sudden, fucking news reports come through. It's a Category 8,000 hurricane, monsoon, typhoon, tornado about to fucking punch North Carolina, South Carolina in its collective faces.
That's because you drive a gas car.
Mm-hmm.
So, you did it to yourself.
Because I took my Dragon Whispers can and put it in the single sort recycling bin is the reason fucking why this happened to me.
Maybe if you didn't drive that Chevy Blazer during high school.
Look, I didn't know no better. I was dumb. I was stupid.
Yeah.
I had the money for a Prius. I just had to wait for it to slide out of escrow. My trust fund would have paid for a Prius. I was just a dummy. It was just a dumb time in my life, man. You know, because I didn't need to drive a shitty V6 gas guzzling sport utility shit.
8
Beige
miles
box.
to the gallon.
If that, being optimistic. So, while this was all going on, I was thinking to myself, okay, what are we gonna do now? Are we gonna pull out of the trip? Are we gonna try to see? Yep, that was it.
Cool.
Are we gonna try to see whether or not they're gonna be able to shovel all the water out of our Airbnb in time and get it all dried off? Only time will tell. But at a certain point, you have to be able to pull out of the one trip and then get the other trip booked so the prices don't go through the roof. So, last week, decided around midweek, I was like, you know what? Let's do something different. So, here's what we did. We are going to go to Las Vegas.
Oh. Wow, you went from quaint to...
So here's why.
Fuck it.
Well, it shifts slowly back into quaint. So Becky was like, all right, let's head west. Let's fucking just not deal with the bullshit fucking rain that's been happening for the entire summer, it seems like. Every other day is rain bullshit, humidity bullshit. So, it's like, all right, let's go to a place where they could only dream about rain. So let's go out to fucking Nevada and Arizona. So we're going to fly to Las Vegas. And the reason why we're doing that is because flights to Las Vegas, even though they're a little bit farther out from Arizona, are actually cheaper because more people want to go there.
Sure.
So we're going to fly out to Las Vegas. We're going to stay there for 2 days. We are going to see Cirque du Soleil featuring Beatles Love.
Okay.
On the Strip. And then we're going to meet with Becky's relatives that live out there. Get a quick bite to eat at a restaurant on the Strip. And then I'm going to go to Dollar Rent a Car, pick up a rental, and drive to Sedona, Arizona. 2 hour Airbnb out in the middle of the fucking desert. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to look at nobody. I want to go out in the middle, wander out into the middle of the desert and fucking die. That's what I want to do. I want to just dry out. I don't want to have a single piece of moisture in my body.
You want your eyeballs
when
to
I
be
come
raisins
back.
when you come back.
I want everything to be a fucking raisin. I want to be a dried apricot by the time I get back to my house. And then go ahead and bring on the stupid bullshit, rain-wintered bullshit. Then I'll be prepared. So we're going to spend 4 days, 4 nights, 5 days in Sedona. I'm going to climb up on some fucking rocks.
Sedona,
I'm going to look at some rocks.
Arizona.
Sedona, Arizona. We're gonna go to some fucking fancy ass restaurants in the middle of the desert. We're gonna go see some arts and crafts in the middle of the desert. We're gonna go look at some fucking
Big
rocks in the middle of the desert.
Ansel Adams, motherfucker, where you at?
That was Yellowstone, but he probably took some pictures of the desert too. I'll imagine he did.
They're mostly desert pictures.
Not all of it was like mountains, like Yellowstone and all the national parks and all that shit. I thought that was his main deal.
Nah, he took the picture of that rock. Remember that rock? The kissing
that
rock or something?
That rock.
The one that, like, the kissing, the rocks?
The Russian kissing rocks.
Yeah. You know.
I think I know what you're talking about. So that's the plan. There's there's more in there. There, made some reservations at some fancy ass restaurants. I'm gonna say fuck it and let's just do this thing. Let's just do this.
It's better to know for sure than decide to go wake up and step in a wet rug as you get out of your Airbnb because you waited too long to cancel that.
Yeah. Luckily, the lady that ran it, her policy on Airbnb was extremely flexible. I think I was only out like $900 or $990 of like a fucking $850 trip altogether. And that's Airbnb. That's not her. She refunds fully, and then Airbnb keeps whatever the fuck their stupid service charges.
Piece of shit.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's that. And then I used some of the Marriott points. I got all the Marriotts. We're gonna stay at the Fairfield in fucking Las Vegas Strip South.
Classic Fairfield.
I ain't staying in the Luxor. I ain't staying in Mandalay Bay. I ain't staying at fucking Caesar's Palace. I ain't staying at the Wynn. I'm staying at the goddamn Fairfield Inn and Suites, Las Vegas South. Only 1,800 miles from the Strip. In reality, without hyperbole, it's 6 miles from the Strip, which is a quick Uber ride away. Fuck it. I don't need anything special to go down there. Look, all I know is you can drink beer on the street while walking down the street, and nobody's gonna hassle you.
And that's all you need to know.
That's all it's about. You walk into the goddamn convenience store, and beer is cheaper than water, and everything is a tall boy. So, drink up, Nancy, because we're gonna fucking hit the fucking penny slots later, and then Daddy's gonna buy you the fucking lobster buffet.
Oh.
Woo!
Can I come out for that?
You get your plane tickets, Dylan.
I'll fly out for the lobster buffet.
You open up a Southwest credit card, and you fucking get your 40,000 miles, and you go out to there, and we'll put you up. We'll give you the pull out couch.
I just come up, eat the lobster buffet, and take off. I mean,
and you'll wander the opposite direction in the desert until you make it to Los Angeles.
When I think lobster buffet, I think middle of the desert. That's where I want to fly for lobster buffet.
Landlocked. We flew it in fucking 500 miles west from goddamn California. California lobster? Is that it?
The famous California
That's
lobsters.
what they do. Yeah, California lobsters. Yeah.
That's why the big bridge is red.
They go.
It's in
people in San Francisco go out on the bridge. They put their stupid lure in the water and they catch a fucking lobster. That's what everybody does, right? All the tourists. So, other than that, you and I have to, of course, speak about some of the particulars of the wedding itself, and we will do so at a later date. But we're gonna do some workshopping
probably soon.
Yep. In typical fashion, I figured that you would be more.
What, you thinking Friday night?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You would be more adept at being like, all right, Dylan, why don't you come up here Friday night? I'll hook some stuff up. Let's just do a dry run. I'll give you the names of the songs so you can quickly download them off of fucking Amazon.
Log into your Amazon account and
download songs as we gotta do it. We're at the wedding and I'm just whispering in your ear, all right, now it's gotta be this one.
It'd be nice if Tractor had Spotify integration.
Oh my god. So actually that's actually a good point you make. What I bought DJ2 for Mac.
Was it DEJAY, right? DEEY, yeah.
It's just DJAY. DJ2 just came out, and I guess now with the S4 it supports MIDI mode, but you have to build it. So what I did
they all
was
support MIDI mode.
Well, there was problems with the MK2 on the original DJ app because if you put it in MIDI mode, it wouldn't even recognize it then. Now, I guess suddenly they've programmed it in. It doesn't accept it natively, which is stupid because they have every other one. They have fucking one of the top results on their website is CDJs. Like you can plug a fucking
Yeah.
CDJ into it and it immediately recognizes it. And I understand it's probably Native Instruments having a chokehold on it because they make an application.
Yeah, probably.
It's because you know, Serato.
They partner with every other fucking controller, DJ controller is partnered with Serato, except the Native Instruments stuff.
Right. And so I was like, I had to go do that birthday party.
Yeah.
Did I talk about that on the last podcast? Was that then?
It was like before you went.
It was before I went.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing that birthday party again this year. I went out to Salem. But what I did before I went was I sat down here, and this was kind of last minute. It took me about an hour and a half to do it. But I sat down, put the controller in MIDI mode, plugged it into DJ2, which cost me $50. I plugged it into DJ2 and then got it to pick up, recognize under the MIDI thing, and then I started mapping. I basically took every control that the base level controls that I needed in DJ and mapped it to the controller. I didn't program any light sends, no MIDI sends that have any light anything. Yeah. I'm basically operating on like a pitch black controller.
You should have just sent lights out to everything just so it lit up.
I didn't even know in there where the command was to put. Like I think it's like at the way by, and it's all menus.
You gotta. I had to do it. I did it with Shit, what did I do it with? I think I did it with my X1. I did like I screwed around with it like a lot of the mapping so that it was just like less of a just more of like a MIDI controller for most of it. Yeah. And I had to go do all that stuff. But yeah, you gotta like when it's press on, like set lights on and shit.
So when I was working through this, I basically all I did was just made it so that my jog wheels worked for track. I couldn't get it to work for scratch, so I could basically just rewind if I needed to in a certain step, and just got my crossfades, my basic effects, my effect on off, all that stuff working. Basic, and then just my track selection knob and some of my knob presses. Mm-hmm. That's all I really needed. I did the cues just in case I really wanted to do anything crazy. All this was just a fucking on-off fucking crossfade bullshit, pretty much like a wedding. So that was how I worked that. The reason why I bring that up is because it would be cool as shit if you could just roll out with Spotify integration and everything mapped out perfectly so that it was just completely seamless. People could give you requests. We can make a playlist ahead of time, a collaborative one, and then you could even load it locally. You just download the playlist. You don't even have to fucking worry about having to do it. And even then, the wireless at the Sinclair, fucking Hillary will just put you on it, and it's enterprise Wi-Fi. It's super fast. It's not the one that everybody and their mom is on in there. It's like the one that they use. Mm-hmm. So you get put on like the normal Wi-Fi, the fast one, so you have access to everything. But you know, I don't know. That's the thing, is that I think that's probably why we're gonna have to at least ahead of time prepare sort of what it's all gonna be about, because you can easily go out and do some crazy fucking set with, you know, what you have in your library now, but I doubt that
I don't have the right stuff.
Got rock and roll hits of the fucking 70s in your folder structure in there. But I think
unfortunately I'll have to go into the certain artist onto the certain CD to get that one song. I have like at least the bare minimum to get somebody through, you know, like 3 or 4 hours of stuff, and you're not even going to really need to go that long, because there's like the cocktail hour, which is not a DJ, which I've had to do before, but it's like the cocktail hour, and it might even bleed over an hour, and then you end up probably 7 o'clock. I mean, you could go for 4 hours. You probably will, because it's fun. And then towards the end of the 4 hours is when you start, you know, sort of doing whatever you want type of thing, when nobody cares, or a lot of people have left, whatever comes first.
But at the beginning, the people want fucking shout, and they want fucking all that bullshit.
Sweet Caroline. That's later.
I don't even know if I'd let you do that one.
I'm gonna do it.
Like, I gotta give you my flash drive that's got fucking ZZ Top rock and roll hits of the 70s, fucking 90s techno hits, discs 1 through 4.
all the Rhino hit classics.
Oh, dude, I have so many of those because I cannot be bothered to think about the songs that people want from those eras. I just look at like hits of the 80s, hits of the 70s, hits of the 60s.
And there it is.
And then if I want to like drill down genre, I'll just look at those like Time Life bullshits from fucking years past, or now that's what I call music's from the most recent era. So, and then I'll just go maybe look at the Billboard Hot 100, find some sort of fucking thing that encompasses all that. But yeah, we gotta. There's like the first dance, fucking mother, daughter, father, mother, sister, brother, fucking dances and all that shit that I gotta give you all the songs for. So we'll work on that. But where the fuck was I going with this? The wedding and stuff is all I can think about, and sweating my ass off. Now that I'm drinking a beer, it's even worse. You know what the best thing is? Have a coffee, have a beer, have a seltzer, drink 4,000 liquids, get super hot.
Gotta take a pee.
Sweaty. Then you gotta, well, I don't have to pee yet. I'm like a camel in that regard. I'm pretty good there. By the way, the beer of today is Baxter Brewing Company from fucking Lewiston, Maine. And the beer is called Pomola Session Ale. Subtle, sophisticated flavors from choice barley and select hops combined with cold conditioning give this beer its exceptional drinkability. Pomola is a mythological spirit with the head of a moose, the body of a man, and the wings and feet of an eagle that is said to inhabit Katahdin, the tallest mountain in Maine.
Oh, I guess I'm not going to Maine.
Yep, that's good. I'm good.
Some weird ass moose shit.
I went out to Portland. Maine is fucking badass. It's so good. It's one of the best cities in the world. Been to a lot of cities, and that city is fucking great.
I got my copy of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch in today. Pretty excited to watch that.
I don't know why that was your cheesy. I guess it's not that I don't know why. Was it just on a whim? How did you come to that conclusion?
Do you know the story of this movie at all?
Wasn't it that Mike Myers is a relative of Mike Myers? Wasn't it a relative of Mike Myers? Michael Myers?
No, not at all.
That was the second one, maybe.
Here's the thing with this movie.
I can't wait.
They decided for Halloween 3, or for Halloween, it was gonna be more of a what's the word? Like, not like it's a bunch of different types of movies in the same series. Something like, you know how like VHS is a like collection of movies, but not like none of them have to do with anything. They're just like anthology. That's the word I'm looking for. They were gonna try to turn Halloween into more of a horror anthology. So every Halloween would be
they were
different.
Putting it into a universe.
No, not a universe.
The
just
Halloween cinematic universe.
no,
The HCU.
no. They were just horror movies under the Halloween banner.
I got you.
So
they were using Halloween as almost like a
the name of the anthology, like what Creepshow? I think's one where there's like different movies for each one. So
Grindhouse.
Yeah, so it's like this is Halloween 3, and then the movie's called Season of the Witch. And
okay.
Then they decided that was a bad idea, and they went back to Mike Myers after Halloween 3.
So that's weird. I did not know that.
Here, I'll read you the back of the box here.
Oh,
The third chilling
Let's see the magic.
When a petrified toy salesman is mysteriously attacked and brought to the hospital, babbling and clutching the year's most popular Halloween costume, an eerie pumpkin mask, Dr. Daniel Chalice is thrust into a terrifying Halloween nightmare. Working with the salesman's daughter, Ellie, Daniel traces the mask to the Silver Shamrock Novelties Company and its founder, Connell Cochran. Ellie and Daniel undercover Cochran's shocking Halloween plan and must stop him before trick-or-treaters across the country never come home.
Good Christ.
Stoked.
Yeah, dude. But seriously, how hyped are you for that fucking John Carpenter? That fucking new John Carpenter fucking mix of the goddamn Halloween theme, dude.
The banger.
Unreal. I mean, it's a minor change, but like the funny part is that he kind of took a page out of Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross version of it that they did before this, and sort of was like, well, you know, they're doing a good job of it, but I think what I'll do is I'll just do their same approach, but with all the old keyboards. That's what he did.
I want a Atticus Ross, Trent Reznor, John Carpenter soundtrack for something. Doesn't matter what it is.
I want John Carpenter to do like one more original IP before he dies, and then they all do that soundtrack. Like just come up with an IP that you want to do, like just dust off an old fucking screenplay that you want to do, and just do a kick-ass soundtrack.
Yeah, something weird like They Live, like
just some or like fucking schlock dark wave cinema put out the ultimate fuck you to all of those like ones like It Follows and The Guest and all that shit that's just trying to do what he's doing, and then he's just like, fuck you, I'm the man, I can do the fucking ultimate.
Yo, the Witch is on Netflix.
Rockfest. Ooh, I have to rewatch that shit.
Yeah, that was a good ass movie.
It's one of those ones, man. I tell everybody about it. It seems to come up like every fucking time somebody talks about horror movies.
Yo, that new Sabrina is like The Witch Light.
The vibes I was getting from the one, like some of the scenes that they cut to in the trailer with like the fucking
the goat head,
right? That shit like that, and the more like satanic parts. I was like, oh god. That's so good.
The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina is way more satanic. Yes, it's way more of like the satanic side of witchcraft and shit.
I feel disingenuous for not having ever even like heard about that series as a part of the Archie comic, like the Archie comic horror series, like
it. Yeah, it was like in that.
Because I was like, man, I feel ashamed that I didn't like hear about that and want to read it.
Well, they came out with a couple, and then they put it on hold for a little while, and I think it just started coming back out again.
Yeah, I saw some of the covers. Like, some of the covers look like there was like a skull cover, like a variant cover. There was like a skull with like a double exposure type of thing, and it looked like the fucking Venture Brothers like style.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like, you see that one? There's a couple more like that where it looks like it looks very like noir looking. There's a lot of the covers are sort of like sort of satanic, super gritty, like Cannibal Holocaust looking type of thing. Pretty cool. It's such a cool idea. I feel like I feel like I said, I just felt weird that I had seen the trailer for this, and I suddenly, I'm the guy who was like, "Oh, that looks cool. Maybe I should look up the comics." It's like, the fucking comics have been around for forever. Why did I never, like, read that shit?
Because it's like, would you really look up an Archie comic?
No, that's the thing. I was never, like, I'm over here reading, like, Brian K. Vaughan and, like, Brian Lee O'Malley.
I'll be honest, I watched Riverdale and was, like, looking up to see what they were doing with the Archie comics now, and that's how I found the Sabrina one. Yeah. So, like...
Well...
because, I mean... I'm like, I wonder if they... Because I knew they did, like a prelude to Riverdale, like, in the Archie world, and then they kind of, like... the sprung off, so they have the Sabrina one. There's a Josie and the Pussycats one. There's a Jughead one, and then there's Archie and Betty and Veronica.
Yep.
Betty and Veronica are in Sabrina, so I'm wondering if they're gonna do some sort of crossover like that.
Oh, but it wouldn't be a show of its type if they didn't have all that shit.
But Netflix is putting this out, and CW puts out Riverdale.
That's true. Well,
I thought CW was gonna do this. Like, that was the rumor that CW was gonna do the Sabrina show, and it was like gonna be all in universe. But I don't know if they're doing like cross thing. But also I know that like CW has a really close relationship with Netflix, to where like once the season ends, it goes on like Netflix almost instantly.
Well, that was like, Jane the Virgin.
Arrow, Supergirl, all those ones.
Whatever the fucking the last season, the only season that didn't come on Netflix immediately was the one that wasn't that was in production.
Yeah, it's like once it's done on TV, like it almost comes on instantly.
Yeah.
So I know they have like a close relationship with them, but I don't know if they would do something like, I could see them showing up, but I don't know if they would do the other way around. I could see Betty and Veronica being in Sabrina, but I don't know if Sabrina would ever be in Riverdale, because I mean, I haven't seen the second season, so I don't know what type of direction it takes, but it's just my 2 cents. Because Josie and the Pussycats are in Riverdale.
Are they ever going to do that?
I don't...
Does it have enough meat on that bone? I don't think they would.
Well, they're a big part in Riverdale, so they don't even need to do it. Like, there's enough of them in Riverdale that like the spin-off doesn't make sense.
Right.
The Archie character and the Josie character intertwine enough to where you see, like, with their side, you see a lot of the stuff that would be in a side show.
Right. The only one that I could ever say that I read before anything happened with it was Gotham by Gaslight. I actually did read that comic before they did anything with it, which was just the animated one that just recently came out. That would be the only thing. Jack the Ripper
one, right?
Yes.
Right, that's where he's trying to find who Jack the Ripper is.
Yeah, but it's basically where they take the Batman universe and they were like, what if Bruce Wayne was alive in in the late 1600s?
Yeah, when Jack the Ripper was killing, like, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Turns out to be the Joker in the end, though, right?
Yep.
Jack the Joker.
I don't even know.
That was my guess.
The concept was similar to the Joker, where it was like he was a demented freak in the like they wrote him like
that's every
parallel.
Batman. That's every Batman villain.
They wrote him parallel to it, but in that same style, like the same idea.
I mean, it makes sense because no one knows who the Joker is, and no one knew Jack the Ripper was, so.
They're not gonna, they're not gonna be like, oh, the Joker existed in the 1600s. Like, a guy like the Joker existed in the 1600s. In fact, the good versus evil dynamic of Batman has existed since the beginning of time. So, you can write anything on it.
You got that going for you.
And also, I did read The Dark Knight. What's the one where he's old? What's the old? Oh, fuck, Year One.
Dark Knight. No. Dark Knight
Returns.
What's
Dark Knight Returns is where he's old. What's Year One?
Year One's. Come on, try to parse it. What Year One would be?
Oh, good lord! Well, I mean,
It's Frank Miller, yes, but it's year one is where it's like his first year of being Batman,
right?
Which was that came out after The Dark Knight Returns.
Yes, I read both of them. I was thinking about The Dark Knight Returns because
why wouldn't
the Joaquin Phoenix, well, yeah, but the Joaquin Phoenix first tests for the Joker makeup came out for the Joker movie that's being distributed through I want to say, because it's not a DC movie. It's like a separate studio.
Oh, it's not in that universe.
Like a low budget, like indie film that they're doing.
I don't think it's in that universe, but it's like a separate movie.
It's a completely separate movie. It's a character piece. They're basically saying he said in the thing, what he's gonna do is they're gonna do a low budget film a la Logan that explores the character of the Joker in a very sort of gritty, down to earth way. So that was what got me thinking about it, was because some of the comments that were listed below the announcement were somebody saying like, why can't DC do a Batman where it's just like, it's again a gritty character piece. It's not trying to be tongue in cheek like Marvel. It's not trying to be like, why can't they just like take a breather for a minute and do some shit like that?
Well, they tried to do gritty. That was Batman v Superman and Superman. They tried to do gritty,
but it's so overblown, like it's in scale. They were like, we'll do gritty, but it's also going to be an $80 bajillion fucking.
It's a superhero movie. What do you want from it?
Well, no, that's what I don't want.
You don't do Batman and Superman that way. You do other characters like smaller characters that way. I mean, I can't think of anything right now, but
I would love to see like one of the biggest comments where I was thinking in my head, I was like, oh my god, that's a great fucking idea. If they did one where it was The Dark Knight Returns, like it set in that frame of mind where it was old Batman. Maybe you fucking get maybe you get Michael Keaton in there. Do old fat Batman, but do it in a way of just him trying to sort of get back into it, rediscover Batman again. Maybe you part
Birdman
of the Batman Beyond. No, damn it. Maybe
old.
You know, fucking old, Dylan, real old.
That's a movie I have that I've never watched. I can see it right here.
Like, even if it was, I feel like it would even be good as like, well, no, because then I wouldn't want it animated, because then you'd start getting into Batman Beyond, because that would be like after that, like, so you have the Terry, fucking what's his name? Terry Gillis?
I don't remember.
Whatever. The Nightwing stuff and all of that shit. I would like to see a movie where it was like, again, they bring back like fucking one of the old Batmans, get him back in the suit, try to squeeze his ass into a suit, and then it's all gritty and nasty, and it's like a super fucking sweet ass like noir film, and then you see little hints of fucking Batman Beyond happening, and then you get the fucking Batman Beyond movie, and then the Batman Beyond movie is like Batman, but it's like set in fucking Blade Runner. Can you even imagine it, Dylan? Can you even imagine Gotham City fucking 2049 or whatever the fuck?
You know, that's one of the only movies I've seen
I made myself super hyped
in a recent while that I think about often.
Like in the Blade Runner, you think about
2049? Yeah.
Did you watch
so fucking good.
It's Dylan, I can't even tell you how I felt after that. It was the same. It's the same way I feel after I watch movies like Interstellar. Like when you watch a movie like that, you're left with a sense of like where it was deeply existential. Like I mean, it's an easy comparison to make, but like, you know, obviously movies like Ghost in the Shell and sort of the things that sort of pave the way for this stuff. I talk about these things all the time. I'm obsessive about like the early cyberpunk stuff. Like it's trying to almost map like who invented it almost. The earliest sort of like sci-fi writers and like the Isaac Asimov's, his was more like a modernist thing. His wasn't very like punky, but like you know, the William Gibsons and all of those guys, like fucking Neuromancer and Mona Lisa Overdrive and like all those amazing sort of books that paved the way for, you know, whatever, The Matrix, Ghost in the Shell, fucking Blade Runner, all that shit. But Blade Runner, it is so unbelievably good. Everything about it. Visually, I can't think of a better thing that I saw like, last year.
The first one?
I can't think of one.
The first one I didn't think was that good. Not saying it wasn't good. I'm saying I didn't think it was as good as the second one. It was good.
There's no
it was
reason
really
to...
good, but once I saw the second one, I'm like, fuck, this is so good. This is a excellent movie.
I think the difference is probably it more comes down to like, well, first there's about 18,000 fucking versions of the original Blade Runner. There's remasters, there's reworks, there's fucking re-edits, there's ones where they made it longer, there's ones where they took out fucking
the unicorn scene.
Decker's, like there was Decker's, there's like Decker's like narration one, which they felt was a little too like holding the audience by the hand, so they ripped it out for the final cut that was the only one that was approved by Ridley Scott, and just all of this shit. And that turns out to be the one that most people cite as the definitive Blade Runner experiences, where you don't have his narration, and you have the extended scenes. Some of the scenes that sort of might seem like inconsequential in like a more cinematic cut, they've left in. It makes it a longer movie. It makes it a lot slower, which is good. For a film like that, you want it to be slower.
Yeah, it's a noir film set in the future.
Yes.
I understand
you really
that.
need it to be like that slow burn.
But the difference between the first one and the second one is I didn't feel that it needed to be that slow burn in the first one. Some of the scenes felt too inconsequential to where the payoff was you're just prolonging this for almost no reason. And the second one, the slow burn,
everything meant something when you were watching it. Everything was for a reason. And it could be
just because the visuals were like, it's just like a awe to watch. Like you're just like sitting in awe, like looking at the visuals and everything else. That could be a piece of it, but like it just like I don't know. That I think that's why I like the second one better because even though I like that style of movie to where you're trying to get that slow burn going on, like it seemed like it was done better in the second one, which is to me personally.
Well, it's a fucking fully realized experience, right? I mean, that's the idea, is that like you take this thing that, you know, a lot of people held in such high regard. There's a big gap between the first one and the second one, which is sort of the same one. Mad Max is a very similar experience. You end up with a visually arresting film that's a more realized film thematically than the first three fucking combined, because of the idea that they had so much time where technology caught up. I mean, that's the same thing as Jodorowsky's Dune. Like the Dune franchise could have been this incredible fucking film in the 70s, but nobody wanted to do it. And it was way too ambitious. But if they did it now, it would be fucking incredible if they took those original things and did it.
Even watching the first Blade Runner, none of it looks dated.
Like, that's the best part about the final cut.
Yeah.
Is that because they upscaled everything, they took the original prints and they rescanned them in 4K.
Yeah, nothing looks dated. So like even the models are fantastic.
Oh yeah, because of how practical a significant amount of it was.
Yeah, but have you ever seen Logan's Run?
No.
The beginning of Logan's Run looks like a fucking like train set that they're like panning over the city. It's hilarious. Like compared to that, where like you believe everything, even though you know it's just a bunch of styrofoam with some fog machines on the styrofoam. That's all it is.
What it is it's like it's a group of people. When they created the film, it was an uncompromising guy. It was a guy who was so wholly focused on the creation of something that even in the 80s, with the lowest sort of technical equipment possible, he wanted to create the experience he saw in his head. That's what Alien was.
Yeah.
It's a guy who's like, we're going to make everything the way that it looks. Like, we're going to build the world. We're not going to try to we're going to try to put a bunch of post-processing stuff in. It's the same thing as fucking Clockwork Orange. It's the same thing as
I mean, that's also the best part of Alien is like, even though it was like they made it with that time period's like equipment and stuff and everything, you'd still see that now if you built a space station, because it needs to be like, you're not gonna put a fucking retina display in a space station. You're just not gonna do it.
It's the funny thing about it is that in the original movies, they sort of,
you're gonna put a dot matrix.
They guaranteed that the visual style that they adopted in those original films would be so pivotal that modern sci-fi films are still going to adopt what most might consider to be an archaic sort of way of displaying things, or whatever it is. Like you said, like a dot matrix display,
yeah, that's
like
how
knobs and levers and shit like that.
That's how science works. Like that's how NASA does things. That you have to make it as the simple as possible to get the job done. It's
just funny that that nobody really has created a modern sci-fi film that breaks the precedent set by films that sort of revolutionized it in the 70s and the 80s. Like, people are still using, sort of low res displays because that stays in line with what's of the day. That's what science is. Science fiction writers were basically using what they had today and extrapolating that for tomorrow. That's kind of the funny thing about that. It's just that movie is, like I said, it's really where like I derive a lot of like my visual aesthetic, a lot of my inspiration from. A lot of times I wish I could create things like that.
You and the creators of Contra.
Yeah.
And the water aliens, and what game was that pop out? Was it Ninja Turtles? Yeah, it was Ninja Turtles. When you're surfing, xenomorphs just pop out of the sewers.
Well, that's a stolen property.
Turtles in Time, I'm pretty sure it was.
Speaking of, that is an effective segue into my next topic, which is the classic segment of all time. Have ye partaken in any video-based
media,
programmed media lately?
Input.
The game Distance, which was an indie darling that I had discovered, was on a Kickstarter 6 years ago and was in active development almost for that entire time, and in early access for a significant portion of it. But the reason why I had found out about it was because 1.0 came out, and I had seen it on like a list of some sort of shit. I don't even remember where I was. I was just somewhere online. I saw a screenshot of it with the car. It was all, Tron Light, but then also there was a couple other pictures where there was like some like shit and some like real like glitched out fucking stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, so maybe this is something I want to look at. I didn't really know the format of the game. I like what the style of it was. I just knew it was like a racing game, maybe that was sort of like more, I guess, like Trackmania oriented, sort of like a stunt game.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. It's a lot of different genres, but it's kind of cool because I was playing through the campaign and it sort of gave me a Ruiner vibe. Like it was very much like Ruiner. You kind of have like you're driving
shitty
through
controls.
No, the controls were pretty tight.
Okay.
The interesting thing about the
visually like Ruiner.
Visually right,
okay.
like Ruiner.
Okay. All right.
The controls of the car were very Trackmania-like. It's the kind where you it's got auto stop on the turning, so it's not like a Forza where when you're turning, it's like 50% arcade, 50% simulation, where it's like you're gonna turn, but your car's gonna keep turning because that's how inertia works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This one is more like when you turn, it just gives you a little bit of like a lane change, like a stiff, like a like you could sort of adjust it real quick.
Power steering.
It's super power steering, like immediate changes in steering, like because you have to. And it also gives you a rhythm game vibe too, because not that you don't follow any rhythm of any kind, but some of the elements in the world, like there's like these like crystals that are just fucking jutting out of like buildings and shit that are glowing, and it's all like a Darkwave soundtrack. So it's like do 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 do. So
everything's flashing to the beat and everything.
Yeah, everything like kind of around you has like that momentum and everything. So, and also the effects themselves, I think, were probably the coolest part about it. The mechanic was basically you're a car that the car has like extreme downforce. Like you can feel it. You kind of like you're really tight in on stuff and you feel like you're like very close to the ground. And you have to take advantage of like similarly in Trackmania to where if you're gonna flip a car over, it's gonna land and it's gonna be it's gonna be on the roof. So basically, you're going along, you hit a wall, like you're driving 90 degrees on a bank, like a real high bank turn, and then you have to jump the car and then put thrusters on above you to push yourself back down onto the road. And then if you're completely upside down, you got to use the thrusters you got to hold on to the thrusters so that you don't fall off like into gravity. And then the converse to that is there's a flying component too, which was kind of, I don't know if underutilized is the right word, but it felt like the flying component was pretty cool. Again, it was actually pretty good controls considering that it's like a secondary mechanic. It felt very like easy to just fly into rings and shit. So you press your jump button, you press it one more time, your wings would fly out, and then you were able to just sort of navigate.
So you can navigate through the sky. It's not like a soaring from one, like a Mario Kart, kind of how you soar.
That's how they introduce it to you. Like I said, I don't think it's very effectively managed. Like I feel like there could have been levels where like you're rolling through like some serious space, pop you off a cliff, you engage your fucking wings, and you can just like fuck around. It was basically a way to bridge like one section of the level with the other, and you can just that part wasn't super imaginative. What was super imaginative was what they were doing with the narrative of it, which it's not really a narrative. All it's really trying to do is give you a sense of almost like an urgency, because the real-time campaign it's timed.
Okay.
So like on the back of your car, in the back windshield, it has like 3 hours. It's way less than 3 hours, but I think they gave you some wiggle room. So like as you're progressing,
they want it to feel like
you're against the clock.
You're against the clock, but in reality,
like a real time one.
in reality, it's you're probably not gonna hit that 3-hour mark. You're not gonna like run up that close to it. Or no?
I don't think so. And again, like I finished it, I think it was an hour and 50 minutes, maybe something like that. But that was only the first campaign, and then they unlocked a secondary, like littler campaign. But the idea of the campaign was basically you started out in a level. They told you something about like a virus. Like it seems as though you're in like a Matrix type world that's infected by a virus, and you are trying to get out of it to Earth. Like you're trying to go to Earth. The car itself. I don't know who's in the car. They never show you who's in the car. But during the process, like there's a teleportation element, and then there's also like a corrupted game file type of element to the whole thing. So basically, you could be driving and you're going through. All of a sudden, the whole game breaks, and then you have that super glitchy like fucking effect that sort of just like fucks with everything, and then you're in like this dark gray like desert mode type thing with like this giant fucking thing ahead of you that looks like it's gonna like swallow you. It's like this big like Goliath like steel thing. It's kind of Doom like, sort of like a big floating orb.
Now you're talking.
With like a red core in it, and then like it's going real slow, and there's like a bunch of light trails and shit, and it's telling you like the announcers that are coming over, like all the intercoms throughout the city are like, you are meant to find a new place on Earth because the distance program is meant to eliminate all possible threats from program. It's just shit like that.
Yeah.
Quintessentially, again, that's why it feels like Ruiner to me, because you're not painted the narrative immediately of what you're doing. It's just like, all cyberpunk words, cyberpunk concepts.
Yeah.
But which is still cool. Like you still are given, like there was a couple parts where I was like, what the fuck? Like some of the third act parts were like they would send me through a portal, and then like I slowed down again, and then that thing shows up in front of me. But then suddenly it just opens up and it's like, ah! My car just starts flipping through the air, and it fucking like eats me alive and puts me into another level. Like it was just the weirdest. I've never seen a game that does this before.
That's cool.
Like where the progression through the levels is sort of like weird shit that happens to your car.
Especially a racing game.
You're just getting sucked through portals and just all kinds of fucking insanity. But yeah, for a $20 game, I could totally recommend it. Like it's actually a really cool experience. And you're not playing it really for the campaign. Most of the game was sort of promised as a collaborative, like map making,
Trackmania,
yeah. Which I got to get into now that I've sort of played through the campaign. I think they make you play through at least the first major campaign and so you can unlock all that stuff, and then you can sort of move into it. But yeah, that's my shit for right now. I tried playing Bulletstorm on a point that I was getting like super fucking stuck on, and it was really pissing me off. Excruciatingly, and I still haven't gotten through it, so I gotta fucking really buckle down on that thing and try to figure out this next part. It's the worst part in the game. All right. So anyway, the other thing I wanted to mention was I told you I bought that stupid fucking Game Boy thing for like $40 from China. That because I have this, I just for very recently again just had that's sort of taken over my life. I just constantly want to fucking play retro shit. So that's kind of what it's like it's not a Raspberry Pi thing. It's like a little tiny Game Boy board that can only do like four or five different emulators. You just load shit onto an SD card and it's ready to run. But it's like super low profile. It's kind of exactly what I was looking for. I wanted just a mini retro sort of emulator handheld. It wasn't a fucking fortune, that I could just tinker around with and have a little bit of fun with instead of trying to fucking solder shit and whatever. So that is or was the extremely glitched out version, the Cyberpunk version of the Jagged Off podcast for this week. If you want to hear this possibly cut off episode in your ear holes, the audio versions of the podcast are linked in the description below. That is it. I am out.
Bye.